All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, James Donaldson, Standing Above the Crowd podcast, coming at you from Seattle, Washington, Thursdays, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every single Thursday. We're waiting on my guest. He'll be popping in just a second. Daniel, my producer, he said he's driving his car. He'll be doing it from his car, I guess. So we'll wait for him to log on in. Anyway, hey, this is James Donaldson. This is Standing by the Crowd podcast. I'm the executive director, as you see my little name tag below, executive director for Your Gift of Life Foundation, which is really a nonprofit 501c3 all about mental health awareness and suicide prevention. And I think we all do a great job in getting the word out, being a voice and an advocate for mental health and just spreading the word, raising awareness, and having the conversations go a little bit easier and the resources be more readily available. All right, we've got a couple of announcements before we get started. My guest is in the queue, so let me get the announcements out of the way and we'll get started. All right. So this is the Call to Conscious Black History Month Museum opens at Columbia City Theater starting next month on February 14th on Thursday and Friday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. So go to calltoconscious.world for tickets and more information. I'll be there. I'll be taking part in one of the days there for sure. And I'll probably pop in several times throughout. But hey, I'd love to see you there. And hopefully we can bump into each other. All right. The next announcement is want to help make these community broadcasts like this more possible. And here's what we can do: donate today on your Venmo at Rainier Avenue Radio or online at rainieravenueradio.world/donate through Shun Pike, and we want to thank you for helping make this community broadcasting possible. It's been a fantastic platform for me to work from, and I've enjoyed each and every episode we put out. It's just been a great experience. So I recommend all of us to support this so we can keep it going. All right, so right now I've got a guest I'd love to welcome in today. You know, we started out this whole new year and everything's been on the real up and up, just kind of uplifting people. A couple of mental health professionals came in talking about, setting New Year's goals and resolutions, something that's reasonable and feasible and something that's attainable, and how to work towards that, how to keep that and not overwhelm yourself and give up on it by mid-February, like a lot of us do. I talked last week about leadership and, what's it take to be a leader and a great leader at that. All of us have the ability to lead. And so, find it in yourself to go ahead and be a leader. And you are a leader already. You may not realize it in some circle that you are part of, but step out of that little comfort zone and take more of a leadership role. It's very, very rewarding, and you will be, you'll appreciate that effort overall in the long run. All right. So my guest today has his own podcast. He's a Seattle guy, and him and I have known each other for years. Just found out we live down the street from each other right here. I didn't know that. He didn't know that. But we're going to get together for lunch and play some golf when the weather gets better. But my guest is Cletus Coffey. Cletus, are you here with us yet?
James, I am here, man. So grateful to be here with you.
My man, Cletus. All right. Good to see you. Good to see you. Cletus he's the founder of a wonderful podcast that I subscribe to and listen to very frequently called Be the Torch. Very inspiring and uplifting and motivating. I mean, this is the kind of guy Cletus is, the kind of work that he's doing. And I invited him on today because Cletus, I've talked about earlier, the episodes so far this new year have all been about uplifting and continuing to be the best you can be. Fulfill those New Year's resolutions and don't drop them by the wayside by mid-February like a lot of us do. Carry it through the year. So I know you do a lot of that kind of work, and you're also a life coach, you told me, and you like particularly working with men. So I really want you to, first of all, tell a little bit about your personal You're a Seattle guy. I think we bumped into each other or crossed paths at Washington State or something back in the day. But tell a little bit about you, and then we'll get into some of the work that you're doing as well.
Awesome, James. Yeah, man. Thank you again so much for our opportunity to join you and the show here. And like you, James, I come from the athletic space. I went the football route and played football up in Canada in the Canadian Football League, and back here in the States in the late '90s, early 2000s in the Arena Football League. And it was like that's just what I was going to do. I was just going to be an athlete my entire life. And but like many of us,
entire life.
Okay. The short-sightedness that this is going to end at some point, and not on my terms. And sure enough, not many of us got to play as long as you did, but I definitely exited in my late 20s, and then was thinking like, what now? And because I've been this athlete for 80+% of my life, and I'm no longer it anymore. And James, that began a process of self-discovery through pain, through suffering. And I was thinking, the only thing that really I aligned with, like I once did with sports, was entrepreneurship. And so I thought, I'm going to start my own business. I didn't know any entrepreneurs. None of my family were entrepreneurs. But it felt like, okay, this is something that I can take ownership in. And I want to create. Well, that was fantastic until the recession of 08, 09 hit.
Oh, yeah,
and
we remember that.
Man, lost the business. Shortly thereafter, lost my marriage. My wife left, and I found myself as a single father and trying to figure out like what are the next steps. And I just, James, long story short, just bouncing around trying to find just a foothold in my life. And I was, attracting relationships that were unhealthy. I was finding business opportunities and partners that were unhealthy. And at that point, I said, okay, the life is reflecting back to me clearly what's going on, that I'm the one that's going to change because I'm the common denominator here. And that became a process of self-discovery and self-mastery that I've been on, and having that realization allowed me to say, look, there's others like me that are going through these stages that I can serve and I can be of support to.
Man, that's fantastic. You mentioned pain. Was it physical pain, emotional pain, mental pain? What'd you go through?
All mental, emotional pain, which translates into the body. It started to show up in my body as well. But it started with, my marriage was going awry. I was financially broke. I was emotionally broken. My relationship was broken. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with me? How did where my life had just been like a hockey stick of success up to that point, how am I in this place? And where am I? And it's so dark. I couldn't find the light out. And really was thinking, and really the thought went through my mind multiple times of someone please come save me because I need help. Not realizing that the only one that was going to get me out of this darkness was me. And I had to go inward versus outward for growth.
Good. And I think you're pretty aware of my story. We've shared and talked about it before, and I talk about it all the time. My mental challenges and anguish was tremendous to the point where I thought of taking my life, ending my own life. I know it's highly personal, but did you ever get to that point? I know it's real personal.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'm very open in sharing it. I had a single father. I then got into another relationship, and we had a child together. So I now was in this new relationship, and the red flags were there, James. I just didn't see them. The red flags were there in that relationship that I just ignored because I was wanting something that either I wasn't ready for or I was just not attracting. So that relationship, my self-worth completely went away. And I still remember I was living in West Seattle at the time. I pulled into my garage of my apartment. I sat in my car, and that's when the first time the thought came through my head that I can't take this pain anymore. I don't want I don't want to be here. And like the solution was, maybe I should just not be here. This is too painful. And thankfully, at least for me, they were just little ideations and not anything that I actually moved forward with.
Yeah.
But man, that was and you were actually a inspiration that time, because I know you were going through something similar around the similar time, and I just
Right.
remember
Yep.
hearing you work through it. It helped me realize that I was not alone at that time.
Yes, that's my message. You're not alone. I mean, so many people go through this kind of stuff. So the work you're doing now, you've got a podcast, and what other things are you doing? But tell us about your podcast, Be the Torch. What's that all about?
Yeah, so this was really birth of this idea that I mentioned a minute ago, which was I was looking outside of myself for help and not realizing that I'm in this darkness, and the only one that can get myself out is me, but I can't see the light, not realizing that I was the light. And that if
Mm.
I could just figure out how to, I knew there was a fire in me. I've had it before, but it had been diminished to a little pilot light, a little candle. And so I was
Yes,
thinking, if
yes.
I know it's in there, if I could figure out how to tap into it to know myself better, the real me, not the one that was showing up the way I thought others wanted me to show up. And
Yes.
that's what I was doing. I was doing that in relationships. I was showing up the way I
Mm.
thought she wanted me to be. In
Mm.
networking and business relationship, I'd get all suited up thinking like that's how I should be. Uh, and it just wasn't working for me. I was very inauthentic. I was lying to
Mm.
myself and thus lying to everybody else.
Wow.
So I
Wow.
said, okay, if I'm going to do this again, I have to figure out a way to tap into who am I and get to the
Yes.
truth, the raw truth about who I
Mm.
am, what I've done, and then take responsibility for it. And so
Right.
that was the place I started. And the more I did that, the more it was the first time, like I've heard the word freedom before, personal
Mm.
freedom. That was the first time I felt some personal freedom because I was not afraid to say what was real for me. And
Wow.
the more I'd say it, like, hey, I was a terrible businessman.
Mm.
Yeah, the economy did its thing, but I just was not good.
Mm.
And the
Mm.
more by saying that, it gave me freedom.
Yeah.
I was in a marriage, and she, unbeknownst to me, she was, or beknownst to me, but the communication didn't quite come out that way. She was in another relationship for someone for about 2 years, and then
Wow.
left me
Wow.
for him. And the initial embarrassment and shame around that, and the guilt,
Mm.
I started talking about it. That was freeing for me, and so I
Mm.
started to realize that the more that if I could light my own torch, that like moth to a flame, people would be attracted to that. The right people that I want to be in relationship with, the right people that I wanted to serve in my business, that could hear my message. Because I was
Mm.
doing the
Wow.
speaking, I was training teams. What I've done traditionally is in leadership is training sports teams and corporate teams really on
Okay.
culture and self leadership. And now I start to connect the dots and realizing that I got to lead myself first before I could
Yes.
lead my children, before I could lead clients, my employees, anybody else. I'm no
Wow.
good showing up
Yeah.
as a shell of myself,
Mm.
inauthentic, lying, small little candlelight. I felt like I was cheating my kids. I was cheating the people that I was in a relationship because they weren't getting the real me.
Yes.
So
Yes. Wow.
that clicked, and I started sharing the story and saying, there are other men, people close to me, that are showing up inauthentic. They're making their business and their money the priority. And like I did, and thought, well, if I can just make a bunch of money, then that'll take care of my broken relationship. That'll take care of
Of
my
course.
poor health. I can just
Yeah.
make money. So I've flipped it and say, yes, we can grow our wealth, and there's a transformation that starts with, we got to be, in case with men, we got to be the man capable of achieving
Yeah.
the wealth, the relationships, the love, the health, by taking care of ourselves first. Be the
Right.
torch.
Right.
Be
And
it.
it all begins with you, right? I mean, it all
It all
begins
begins with you.
inside of each and every one of us. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And then I mentioned also you do a lot of coaching, a lot of working with men, particularly.
Yeah.
What is it? I mean, we're both coming from the athletic background and the mindset of all the training that we went in for years and years and years. It still carries over. But what is it about men that makes us sometimes a little stubborn, a little hard-headed, a little difficult to coach, a little bit difficult to admit that we need help? What is it about us that makes us that way, and how can we overcome that?
Yeah, such a good question, James, and such a blind spot for so many men. We were taught very early on to achieve and accomplish. Men
Yes.
are to achieve and accomplish. And how society trained us was we are to achieve and accomplish on the scoreboard of life, which
Mhm.
generally is something outside of ourselves, generally around status, money, career success, business success.
Mhm.
And so we have, as men, have taken that on as the badge of honor, and that has made that a priority. And
Wow.
what has happened is we have, in order to get to that place, when we don't achieve and accomplish on the scoreboard, which in reality we can't control the scoreboard. It is
No,
what it is. In
no.
fact, Bill Walsh, the former Stanford Cardinal, San Francisco
Yes.
49er football coach, even wrote a book about it titled "The
Uh,
Scoreboard Takes Care of Itself."
ah,
We can't control the scoreboard. So what's happened with men is we've put our self-worth and our identity on the scoreboard, which is something we cannot control, to achieve and accomplish. Well, when we don't achieve and accomplish, then it's, oh, what's wrong with me? I'm not good
mm,
enough. I'm a bad business person. I'm a bad husband, a partner, father, because our outcomes aren't where we think they should be or where society tells them they should be. And
mm.
so instead of saying, I need help, I'm hurting, we internalize and shove it down and just drive harder. Well, if I just work harder,
Yeah,
and we are in this hustle and grind economy
yeah,
right now in society, especially with men. And if I just
yeah.
hustle harder, I work harder, I work later, then that's going to be the answer. Well,
Mhm, mhm.
it may be for 10 years, and then they pick their heads up and their cholesterol and their blood pressure is off, or they're
Yeah.
out of shape or overweight. The relationships they picked up, and most men I work with are burned out. They
Mm,
have gone through a divorce or in a challenging relationship because their head has been down, hustling and grinding, afraid
yeah.
to ask for help, af- uh, afraid to be vulnerable and say,
Mm,
"Man, I don't know what I'm doing. I need
mm.
help. I'm hurting." Uh, and so it's because of this addiction to the scoreboard and achieving and accomplishing that suppresses that.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Wow. Let's compare and contrast a little bit. I mean, I think I know the answer, but how are women different? So many more women are fulfilling traditional men's roles now, being the breadwinner, driving themselves, career first, children later, or children maybe never. Uh, but they handle it different. How and what do you see about that?
Yeah, I mean the nurture in women to uh, that is ingrained in women to be more open, to be in groups and be very more social and communicating with their friends and loved ones about what they're feeling.
Mm,
Women that the feminine energy is attached to the feelingness, the openness, where men, the more masculine energy is, the logistics and the
yeah,
drive.
yeah,
And and so women tend to be more open and have the freedom to share with one each other what's going on, what's
freedom.
real for them, what they're feeling.
Yeah.
And for a man who's met with that, especially in partnership with a woman who's saying, hey, here's what I'm feeling, and the man is suppressing it because he doesn't want to share what he's feeling
Mm,
for
mm,
fear of, well, if I share how I'm really feeling, I'm going to look weak, or she's
mhm,
not going to trust me, or she's not going to love me, or she's not going to believe in me. When in fact, the women are asking for the exact opposite.
mhm. Wow.
And and for women, and I talk with women all the time who come to me in these challenging scenarios with their man who's shut down,
Mm,
because the first time that a man opens up and says, I'm vulnerable, this is what I'm feeling, the minute the woman says, well, you need to stop feeling that way, and that's where okay, now I'm really never going to share.
Yeah, shut
So
down.
it's helping women saying, hey, look, once you get a man to share and open up, like you've got to give him some space to be able to do that, because it's, as they know, it's gold.
Mm,
And men need that. They need that space to feel safe to open up.
yes, we really do. We really, and it goes back to our childhood, to boys on the playground. I mean, little boys don't cry. We tough it out. We scrape the blood off our knee and get back out there and don't show anybody we're hurt. That's little boyhood stuff, and we carry that into adult manhood stuff. And it really, I think, is detrimental and harms us in a way, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You have grown men who have little boy trauma and they're still acting from that little boy energy.
Ah,
You know, play through the pain, Cletus. Come on. Physical, emotional pain. And you're right. As athletes, it was, well, if I don't get on the field, well, then I could lose playing time. I could lose my scholarship. I could be cut, so I'm going to play through the pain. We don't want to be playing through the pain anymore. We got to share it and be vulnerable. And it's freedom, man. It's freedom once we start doing that and sharing.
Wow, wow. Any tips to help men who aren't used to opening up and aren't used to making themselves vulnerable in their relationship, hopefully a secured, loving relationship, of how to get that ball rolling? I mean, who initiates, she or him, or what do you think?
Yeah. So really my leadership approach is what I call mirror-based leadership. So when we lead at home and we lead in our careers and business, it's mirror-based. And by that, I mean, when an event happens and a man gets triggered by it, it has nothing to do with her. It has nothing to do with the employee or the customer. It has everything to do with us. We are being triggered by this event, this experience, by something she said. And when men are generally triggered, we go into fight or maybe flight. And flight, we become avoidant. And a lot of women are dealing with avoidant men. They don't want to pick the fight. They don't want it, so they just avoid it. Or they fight back, not realizing that that's triggered something in them. And so when a man is triggered, it's to pause and step in and what am I feeling right now? And not like, I'm angry because she's yelling at me, or for a lot of men, they feel undervalued, unappreciated. They feel, the women are very critical of them. So if that is happening, it's pausing and saying, okay, what am I feeling in the moment? Wow, and like, wow, I'm feeling weak. I'm feeling that I'm not good enough. I'm feeling that she, thinks I'm a bad person. And then addressing, well, what was the trigger? Well, the trigger was something that she had said. And then here's the key step. Get to the truth. Are you really weak? Are you really a bad guy? Are you really, whatever that feeling that is for them. And most times it's not the truth, but it's the story that we tell ourselves because of this trigger that we got. Okay. And so once we get to that truth, then we can clear it and then have a conversation back with our partner in this example and saying, hey, what you said right there really made me feel like I am not of value in this relationship. I'm feeling unvalued.
Wow. Okay.
That's a much different conversation, especially in a relationship with a woman who's saying, she can meet you there once she knows the truth about what you're feeling. You
being truthful. Wow. Yeah.
It's a treatment. So much like, and you're familiar with physical treatment, having a clinic back in the day. It's a treatment. We're injured, quote unquote, in the moment. We're triggered by it, by an old pain. Well, let's run a treatment on it. What am I feeling? What's the trigger? What's the truth behind it? And now let's clear it.
Wow, no, that's valuable information. One of the toughest things for all of us to do is be truthful with ourselves. I mean, if we can get past that point, it really opens up the floodgates to all of these other wonderful opportunities. Where can people find more information about the work you do? Do you have a website? Do you have a book or anything else like this?
Absolutely. James, CletusCoffey.com is a great hub. COFFEY, CletusCoffey.com is really a hub for pretty much everything I'm doing. I'm at Cletus Coffey on all social channels.
Okay.
So folks can DM me and reach me out there. But
Good.
that's the entry point, and from there you can get into some of my programs and some of my free trainings and offerings. But my coaching programs are all there as well.
Wonderful. Wow, that's fantastic. And have you written a book yet? Are you a published author on all the work you're doing?
2026, James.
This will be the year.
2026. This is the
Really?
year.
You go.
Bring the torch,
Good for
my
you.
friend. Yes.
Good for you.
Yes.
Looking forward to it. Man, you've got so much valuable information for every audience. I mean, I speak a lot to men as well and enjoy it. But wow, what you're sharing with us today is just really, really powerful stuff. That's great. What's next for Cletus Coffey? You're still doing your professional speaking and your leadership training, or what are you doing?
Yeah, so got my professional speaking and my coaching, and really I'm for 2026. Obviously, the book is in queue for that as well, and then this Be the Torch movement for me, and for that looks like really there's a brotherhood that's growing around this for men.
Good.
And creating those cohorts and those containers by which men can come together in groups who are either on that same stage or level in life, the same pain, and guys that are going through it, so we can come together with like-minded, because guys need to tell the truth to other guys as well.
That's right.
So creating that brotherhood is on tap here for 26.
Wow, it sounds like a summit or a retreat is on its way as well, which I'll be part of. You put that together, I'll be there. Hey, Cletus, this has been fantastic. We got to wrap up here in a few, but
beautiful.
I just want to say thank you so much for the work you're doing. Thanks for being you. Thanks for still being here to do the work that you're doing. You hung in there, you made it, and all of us can. Everybody, this is James Donaldson, Standing Above the Crowd podcast, coming to you live every single Thursday afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Check us out on YouTube and a lot of other social media places out there. We provide great content like this every week. Cletus was just fantastic today. Men especially. I hope that you guys really took note and can be the best that you can be. All right, I'm signing off. I'll see you next week. Have a great one. See you now. Bye-bye.